When glory departs. Welcome to another manly rant, where we rant to crush maliteracy, the ignorance of biblical manliness, and we aspire to domestic excellence. We are grateful for your attention today on this manly rant. We encourage you to listen because scripture shows us that it's possible to be active in God's name and still lose his manifest presence. Israel went into battle confident, religious, and prepared. Yet, in 1 Samuel 4:21 to 22, Scripture records a tragic moment when someone said, "The glory has departed from Israel." If glory can depart, then let's explore what keeps it near. Three main points today on how to steward God's glory effectively as males. Number one, glory is God's manifest presence, not a religious object. In 1 Samuel 4, Israel said, "Let us bring the ark of the covenant of the Lord, that it may save us." 1 Samuel 4 verse 3. They had the ark, but they lost that battle. Why? Because the ark was never the source of glory. Yahweh was. Scripture later reminds us, "He dwells not in temples made with hands." Acts 7 verse 48. When we trust routines, symbols, or history more than God himself, we risk carrying holy things without hosting his presence. Second point, covenant faithfulness sustains the abiding of God's glory. Inside the ark were the tablets of the covenant, the Decalogue. Hebrews 9 verse 4. Obedience did not produce glory, but it honored the relationship where glory abides. God said, "I will dwell among the children of Israel and will be their God." Exodus 29 verse 45. When reverence fades and obedience becomes optional, glory does not argue. It withdraws. Third point, outside of glory, there is exposure and collapse. When the ark was captured, Scripture says, "The glory has departed from Israel." In 1 Samuel 4:22, Israel didn't immediately stop functioning, but they were no longer standing. God remains omnipresent. Psalm 139 verse 7. Yet his glory is not always manifest. As Moses said, "If your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here." Exodus 33:15. We were never designed to live without his nearness. Let's pause for a moment today. If you can, where you are, you can close your eyes. You can, as a strong man, you can ask yourself this question quietly. Am I relying on God's presence or just my familiarity with God? You can place one hand on your heart and pray silently. Lord, restore reverence where I've grown casual. Let your glory rest here again. We recall the tragedy of the story when Eli's daughter-in-law gave birth to her son, a stillborn son. She said the glory departed and called her son Ichabod. We recall that when there is the departure of glory, there is tragedy. And we encourage males to understand the importance of hosting the glory of God, the presence of God. And we encourage you to understand that God's glory comes from Him, not from our religious rituals. Our faithfulness sustains His glory. And outside of this glory, there is exposure, there is defeat, there is collapse in our homes. We're grateful that you have come to the end of another manly rant. We do encourage you to leave your comments, questions, corrections in the YouTube's comments section. Why rob God in this world of you and your family? And until next time, be nuclear.